Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you one question. What if I told you that just one simple habit completely transformed your life in 2025? I'm not talking about some magic pill, a new app, or a shortcut. I'm talking about something so simple yet so powerful that most people overlook it. It's the habit of daily intentional reflection. Now, I know what you're thinking, Tony, that sounds too simple. How can 10 minutes of reflection change my life? But listen closely, because this is where the magic happens. Small, intentional actions repeated daily create massive, life-changing results over time. You see, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a day and underestimate what they can achieve in a year, and that's where the magic of consistency comes in. It's not about grand gestures or huge leaps, it's about showing up every single day and taking one small step forward. Think about the gym. You don't get fit by working out for 10 hours once a month. You get fit by showing up for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, month after month. The same principle applies to your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, every area of your life. The results don't come from occasional bursts of effort. They come from a steady drumbeat of daily action. And here's the truth, consistency isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. There's no applause for doing the same thing every day when no one's watching. But that's what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. It's easy to get fired up and motivated on day 1. But what about day 30? Day 90? Day 365? That's where most people fall off, not because they don't have the talent, not because they don't have the opportunity, but because they lack the discipline to stay consistent when the excitement fades. But here's the kicker. When you commit to small daily actions, something incredible happens. You create momentum. And momentum is everything. When you're consistent, you start to see small wins. And those small wins build confidence, and confidence creates energy, and energy fuels even bigger actions. It's a cycle, a powerful cycle that keeps growing if you just keep showing up. Let me give you a real life example. Imagine planting a tree. You water it every day. At first, nothing seems to happen. The soil looks the same. The sun rises, the sun sets, and you see no visible change. But underground, beneath the surface, the roots are growing. The foundation is being built. And one day you see a tiny green sprout break through the soil. That's the reward of consistency. And here's what's even more powerful. Consistency compounds. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but as it picks up speed and mass, it becomes unstoppable. Every small action you take today builds on the action you took yesterday and the day before that. Consistency is also about trusting yourself. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you're telling your subconscious mind, I am someone who keeps my word. I am someone who shows up. I am someone who finishes what I start. And that identity, that self-belief is priceless. Because once you see yourself as someone who is consistent, everything changes. You stop relying on motivation, you start relying on habit. But here's the challenge. Consistency isn't always easy. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when you're tired, overwhelmed, or distracted. And those are the most important days of all, because consistency isn't about how you perform on your best days. It's about how you show up on your worst days. It's about pushing through resistance, showing up even when it's inconvenient, and proving to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your excuses. Now let's talk about why most people fail at consistency. They set goals that are too big, too vague, or too far away. They say, I'm going to work out every day for 2 hours, or I'm going to meditate for an hour every morning. And when they miss a day or fall short, they quit altogether. But here's the secret: start small. Start simple. If you want to read more, start with 5 pages a day. If you want to exercise, start with 10 minutes a day. If you want to build better habits, focus on one habit at a time. Because the goal isn't to be perfect, the goal is to be consistent. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress, and over time, those tiny steps will lead to massive transformation. Here's another thing. Consistency isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. It's about showing up with intention, with focus, and with a clear sense of purpose. It's not about going through the motions, it's about being fully present in whatever you're doing. You see, success isn't reserved for the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest people. It's reserved for the people who are consistent. The people who wake up every day and say, no matter what happens today, I'm going to take one step forward. So ask yourself, what's one small thing I can commit to doing every single day? It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to move you closer to your goals. Because in the end, success isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. It's about the choices you make day in and day out when no one's watching. It's about building habits that serve you, routines that empower you, and a mindset that refuses to quit. And when you embrace consistency, not just as a strategy, but as a lifestyle, you'll unlock a level of success, fulfillment, and freedom that most people only dream about. Because consistency isn't just an action, it's a commitment. It's a promise you make to yourself. And when you honor that promise day after day, you become unstoppable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you own. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation begins in one place, your mind. But here's the truth most people miss. Your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can build you up to conquer mountains, or it can tear you down before you even take the first step. And the difference lies in whether you've taken the time to master it. Mastering your mindset isn't about thinking positive thoughts all day or avoiding challenges. It's about developing a level of control over your focus, your emotions, and your inner dialogue. You see, the quality of your life isn't determined by the events that happen to you. It's determined by the meaning you give those events. Two people can face the same setback. Let's say they both lose their jobs. One person spirals into self-doubt, fear, and hopelessness. The other sees it as an opportunity to pivot, grow, and pursue something even better. Same event, different mindset. So here's the first truth about mastering your mindset. Your mindset determines your reality. If you believe you're capable, you'll find a way. If you believe you're stuck, you'll find excuses. Your mind is always working either for you or against you. The question is, who's in control? Now let's break it down. Your mindset is some vague concept that's made up of the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the stories you tell yourself every single day. And here's where it gets powerful. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, things never work out for me, your brain will find evidence to make those thoughts true. But if you start telling yourself, I'm resourceful, I'm capable, I can handle whatever comes my way, your brain will shift its focus to finding solutions instead of problems. And this is where daily habits come into play. Because mindset isn't something you change overnight, it's something you train. Just like you train your body in the gym, you need to train your mind every single day. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by becoming aware of your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself. Are they empowering or disempowering? Are they building you up or breaking you down? Because here's the deal, you will never outperform the story you tell yourself. If your internal story says, I'm not smart enough, I'm not experienced enough, I don't have what it takes, then no strategy, no motivational seminar, no self-help book is going to change your results. Your story is the blueprint for your actions, and your actions create your outcomes. So how do you shift your mindset? It starts with one thing, focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. If you focus on what's wrong, what's missing, and what's not working, your energy will follow that path, and you'll stay stuck in frustration and fear. But if you focus on what's possible, what you can control, and what you're grateful for, your energy will shift and you'll start taking action. Now, here's something you need to know. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. Its job is to keep you safe, not to make you happy. That's why it's so easy to focus on the negative, to doubt yourself, and to avoid taking risks. But when you master your mindset, you override that survival mechanism. You teach your brain that growth lies on the other side of discomfort. This is why daily rituals are so important. Whether it's journaling, meditation, affirmations, or visualization, these habits act like a gym workout for your mind. They're not just feel-good exercises, they're tools to rewire your brain, to shift your focus, and to remind yourself of who you truly are and what you're capable of. But mindset mastery goes even deeper than just positive thinking. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about learning how to manage your emotions, especially when things don't go your way. Because let's be real, life will throw challenges at you. You'll face setbacks, rejections, and failures. But how you respond to those moments is what defines your mindset. So when you master your mindset, you learn to ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What's the next best step I can take right now? And let me tell you something, questions are the steering wheel of your mind. Ask lousy questions and you'll get lousy answers. Ask empowering questions and you'll open doors to opportunities you didn't even know existed. Another key to mastering your mindset is surrounding yourself with the right people. Your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, complaining, and limiting beliefs, it's going to seep into your mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you, it becomes easier to elevate your own thinking. Now let's talk about resilience, because mindset isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning to bounce back from failure. It's about seeing every setback as a setup for a comeback. People with a strong mindset don't crumble under pressure, they rise. They don't see obstacles as roadblocks, they see them as opportunities for growth. And here's something else, you are not your thoughts. Just because a negative thought pops into your mind doesn't mean it's true. Thoughts are like clouds, they come and go. But you have the power to decide which ones you'll hold on to and which ones you'll let pass by. Mastering your mindset means taking responsibility not just for your actions, but for your thoughts. Because at the end of the day, you are in control. Not your circumstances, not your past, not your fears yo you. And when you realize that, when you truly embrace that power, your entire life will change. Because everything starts in your mind. Every breakthrough, every success, every transformation all begins with one thought, one belief, one decision. So ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? What beliefs am I holding on to? Where is my focus going? Because the answers to those questions will reveal the quality of your mindset, and the quality of your mindset will determine the quality of your life. Take 10 minutes every day to reflect, refocus, and set clear intentions, the habit that will steer your life. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with notifications, emails, deadlines, and endless to-do lists, most people are reacting to life instead of responding to it. They wake up, check their phones, rush into their day, and let external circumstances dictate their mindset, their focus, and ultimately their results. But here's the truth. If you don't take control of your mind, your time, and your focus, someone or something else will. That's why the habit of intentional reflection is so powerful. It's about hitting the pause button on the noise and giving yourself the space to ask the questions that actually matter. Reflection isn't about overthinking. It's not about obsessing over past mistakes or worrying about future challenges. It's about awareness. It's about slowing down long enough to see where you are, understand what's working and what isn't, and decide where you want to go next. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stopped and truly asked yourself, is the path I'm on right now leading me to the life I want? For most people, the answer is, I don't know, I'm too busy to think about it. And that's the problem. Life isn't going to slow down for you. The world isn't going to stop spinning. The deadlines, the commitments, the responsibilities, they're not going away. But reflection gives you the power to step above the chaos, look down at the bigger picture, and make sure your daily actions are actually aligned with your long-term vision. Think about it this way. If you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, but you never stop to check your compass, how do you know you're heading in the right direction? You could be paddling harder and harder, but if you're pointed in the wrong direction, all that effort is wasted. Reflection is your compass. It's the habit that ensures you're not just being busy, you're being effective. And here's where it gets powerful. Reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about looking forward. It's about setting intentions, getting clear on your priorities, and deciding what really matters to you. Now, you might be thinking, Tony, 10 minutes a day doesn't sound like much. Can it really make a difference? Absolutely, because it's not about the length of time, it's about the quality of that time. In those 10 minutes, you have the opportunity to ask yourself questions that most people avoid. What did I learn today? What am I proud of? What challenged me today, and how did I respond? What do I need to focus on tomorrow? Am I living in alignment with my values? These aren't just questions, they're access points to deeper self-awareness. And self-awareness is the foundation of growth, because you can't change what you're not aware of. You can't improve what you don't measure. Here's the truth. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go to work, come home, scroll through social media, and go to bed. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, unfulfilled, or lost, but reflection breaks that cycle. It interrupts the autopilot mode and forces you to wake up to your life. And let me tell you something powerful. Your future is created in your daily habits, and your daily habits are guided by your clarity of intention. Reflection isn't just about looking back at what happened, it's about deciding what happens next. But let me be clear, reflection isn't always comfortable. Sometimes when you stop and take an honest look at your life, you'll realize you're not where you want to be. You'll see patterns of procrastination, self-sabotage, or avoidance, and that can be tough to face. But here's the good news. Awareness is the first step to transformation. When you're aware of what's holding you back, you can start to shift it. When you're aware of your patterns, you can start to change them. Reflection isn't about judgment, it's about growth. And growth doesn't happen by accident, it happens intentionally. That's why I call it intentional reflection. Because it's not just about thinking, it's about using those insights to make better choices, take better actions, and move your life in the direction you truly want. Now, let's talk about how you can make this habit stick. Because I know what some of you are thinking, I don't have time for this. But let me ask you this, do you have time to stay stuck? Do you have time to keep repeating the same mistakes? Do you have time to keep running in circles, feeling busy but not making progress? The truth is, you don't have time not to reflect. Those 10 minutes could save you hours, days, or even years of wasted effort. Those 10 minutes could give you the insights you need to finally break through that obstacle that's been holding you back. So make it simple. You don't need a fancy journal or a complicated system. You just need 10 minutes of quiet space and a willingness to be honest with yourself. Maybe you reflect first thing in the morning before the world wakes up. Maybe you reflect in the evening before you go to bed. Maybe you do it during your lunch break. The when doesn't matter, the consistency does. Here's another tip, write it down. Don't just think about it, capture it. Because when you write things down, you're not just reflecting, you're creating a record of your growth. You're giving yourself something to look back on, something to measure, something to celebrate. And let me tell you, there's nothing more powerful than looking back over months of intentional reflection and seeing how far you've come. Reflection isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware. It's about catching yourself when you start to drift, correcting your course, and getting back on track. Because life isn't a straight line, it's a series of adjustments. And every time you reflect, you're fine-tuning your direction. You're sharpening your focus, you're reminding yourself of what truly matters. So ask yourself, what am I reflecting on? What insights am I gaining? How am I applying those insights to move forward? Because reflection isn't just about looking in the mirror, it's about using that mirror to become a better version of yourself day after day, year after year. Understand how this one habit done daily compounds into extraordinary success across all areas of your life. You see, success isn't built on one massive action, one life-changing decision, or one lightning strike moment of brilliance. Success is built in the tiny, seemingly insignificant choices you make every single day, the ones that are so easy to do, but just as easy not to do. This is the magic of the compound effect. It's not just a principle, it's a universal law. It governs your finances, your health, your relationships, your mindset, every single area of your life. It's the invisible force working silently in the background, amplifying every decision you make, whether positive or negative. Let me break it down for you. Imagine you have two people. One person decides to read 10 pages of a self-development book every day. It doesn't seem like much, it's just 10 pages. The other person decides to scroll through social media for 30 minutes instead. Again, it doesn't seem like a big deal, it's just 30 minutes. Fast forward 6 months, the first person has read 6 books, their mindset has shifted. They're thinking bigger, they've started taking small intentional actions towards their goals. The second person, they've consumed hundreds of hours of content, but none of it has pushed them forward. Now fast forward a year, the gap between these two people has widened into a chasm. One has transformed their habits, their mindset, and their results. The other is in the exact same place, if not further behind. That's the compound effect in action. Small actions repeated consistently over time lead to massive results. But here's the catch, the results aren't immediate. And that's where most people stumble. They start a habit, and after a week, they don't see any changes, so they stop. They think this isn't working, but what they don't realize is that the results of the compound effect are delayed. It's like planting a seed. You don't plant an apple seed and expect a tree the next morning. You water it, you nurture it, you protect it from weeds and pests. And slowly, very slowly, it begins to grow. But when it finally bears fruit, it doesn't give you just one apple. It gives you hundreds. That's how the compound effect works. It starts slow, almost invisible. But over time, the results become undeniable. Now, let's apply this to your daily habits. Every action you take is like depositing a coin into a jar. It might not seem like much at first, but over time, those deposits add up. And eventually that jar is overflowing. But here's the flip side, the same principle works in reverse. Every day you skip the gym, every day you procrastinate, every day you make an excuse that's like taking a coin out of the jar. It doesn't seem like much in the moment, but over time, those withdrawals add up too. This is why consistency is so important. The compound effect doesn't care if your actions are positive or negative, it simply amplifies whatever you feed it. Let me give you another example. Imagine you're flying a plane from Los Angeles to New York. If the pilot adjusts the plane's course by just 1 degree south, no one on board will notice. The change is so small, it seems meaningless. But by the time the plane reaches the East Coast, it's not going to land in New York, it's going to end up hundreds of miles away in Washington, D.C. Small adjustments create massive shifts over time. Now think about your own life. What are the small habits you're repeating every day? Are they moving you closer to your goals or further away? Are you making consistent deposits into your jar of success, or are you making consistent withdrawals? Here's the key, the compound effect thrives on intentional action. You can't just hope things will change. You can't just wish for better results. You have to deliberately choose habits that will move you in the right direction, and then you have to commit to those habits every single day. But here's the challenge, the small things are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. It's easy to wake up 10 minutes earlier to plan your day, but it's also easy to hit the snooze button. It's easy to drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, but it's also easy to grab a sugary coffee instead. It's easy to spend 10 minutes reflecting on your goals, but it's also easy to skip it and say, I'll do it tomorrow. Success isn't about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well and doing them every single day. The compound effect also thrives on patience. In our instant gratification society, most people want results now. They want the six-pack abs in 2 weeks, the million-dollar business in 3 months, the dream relationship overnight. But the compound effect doesn't work that way. It requires faith that your small daily actions are planting seeds for future success. And here's where most people get it wrong. They quit too soon. They stop watering the seed because they don't see results fast enough. They abandon the habit before the magic kicks in. But here's the truth. The greatest rewards are just beyond the point where most people quit. It's that extra month of discipline, that extra week of showing up, that extra day of pushing through resistance that's where the breakthrough happens. And once the compound effect starts working in your favor, it becomes unstoppable. It creates a snowball effect. Your habits start feeding into each other. Your wins start building on each other. And suddenly momentum takes over. Momentum is the rocket fuel of success. And the only way to build momentum is through consistent, compounded action. So let me ask you this, what small habit can you commit to every single day? Just one. Start small. Because the power isn't in the size of the action, it's in the consistency. Maybe it's reading 10 pages a day. Maybe it's journaling every morning. Maybe it's drinking water instead of soda. Whatever it is, start now. Start small. And most importantly, don't stop. Because the compound effect isn't just a strategy, it's a law. And when you align yourself with that law, extraordinary success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. At the core of everything we've talked about, consistency, mindset mastery, intentional reflection, and the compound effect lies one undeniable truth. Your life is a reflection of your daily habits. It's not the big dramatic moments that shape your future, it's the small, consistent actions you take every single day. Every choice you make, every habit you reinforce, and every moment you invest in your growth creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see right now. The results may not always show up immediately, but they will show up. The power lies not in grand gestures, but in your commitment to showing up day after day, moment after moment, when it's exciting and when it's mundane, when it's easy and when it's hard. Because it's in those moments when no one is watching and no applause is given that your future is truly being built. So as you step forward into the days, weeks, and months ahead, remember this: success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become through your daily habits. Start small, start now, and never underestimate the extraordinary power of showing up for yourself every single day. Because the life you want, the dreams you have, and the goals you're chasing, they're not out of reach. They're just on the other side of your next consistent action. Now go out there, make the commitment, and remember your habits are the bridge between who you are today and who you're destined to become.